flipping over to Romans 12, verse 2. And your version may be a little bit different than mine, but it says, "Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect." So I grew up in a time where social media was still fairly new, and you would edit the heck out of your photos. And I would like, if you could show my cringy middle school examples, that would be great. And I was looking back at them the other day and I was like, oh Lord, I thought this was like legit. When I posted it, I was like, yeah, it's amazing. Oh God, it's so funny. Like I literally, looking at that, it's amazing. Go to the other examples. She was dedicated to her post. Look, be yourself. We love her. She's so cute. Yes, be yourself, girl. Be yourself. Why don't you be yourself? Oh look, I was in cheer in middle school. Go Cougars. Yeah, I was definitely, oh Lord. Oh, yeah. This is when Taylor Swift's album came out, and it was, what is it? Loving Him Was Red. Do you guys know that song? Like, Loving Him Was Red. I didn't even listen to Taylor Swift. I think I just saw like a girl do it and I wanted to be like her, so I copied it. Oh God, so bad. Oh, yeah, be yourself because everyone else is taken. Really preaching that message about be yourself. Like, girl, you need to receive that for yourself. Lord, practice what you preach. Mercy. I think there's like one more, and it's just filtered, like beyond belief. Like that is so filtered. That's when the Instagram filters were really heavy. I mean, like the saturation was, yeah. Wow. Anyways, I thought you could laugh about that. But as I would post those, I was so insecure inside. But so the end of my 7th grade year, I was public schooled all up until the end of my 7th grade year. Beginning of my 8th grade year, I started homeschooling, and my mom just felt led to pull me out. There was really no rhyme or reason for it. But I had the opportunity to graduate early from high school. So I graduated at the end of my sophomore year. And I had just turned 16, like had no idea like what I was gonna do. But the church that I was attending at the time, there was an older couple and they owned a custom home building company and had asked if I was interested in working for them. And when you're 16 and you don't have any expenses, you live with your parents, $543.16 a paycheck, you're like, I'm rolling in the dough. Like, I am rolling in the dough. Like, I thought I was so wealthy and rich and I was living my best life. I'm like, I'm the richest 16-year-old out there because everybody else that I knew, you know, was in school and they weren't making really anything. But then you look back and I'm like, girl, that was like nothing, especially in this economy. Anyways. But so with that, like I then started a full-time job, working 40 hours a week, 9 to 5, and my only social outlet was church. And there is a small pool to choose from when it comes to like boys. And if you don't like any of the boys, then you're like, maybe this Wednesday or this Sunday, a new boy would come up and then you'd be interested again. But that's what my mind thought at the time. But then I started liking this other guy. And look back, I wish I didn't act upon the feelings that I did with this boy, like mentally speaking, but I did. And I sometimes believe, like, as I've gotten older, I believe sometimes, like, when we're intrigued by somebody or have an interest in someone, it doesn't always mean we have a crush on them. Sometimes I feel like it's the Lord highlighting that person to either, like, pray for or encourage, and I wish I would have done that with this boy, but I didn't. And I liked him for like 4 years, and it was such a one-sided relationship, but any ounce of attention this guy would give me, I would literally take it and run with it. And then back in September of 2020, I got in a major car accident, and I had a compound fracture to my left leg. I was paralyzed on the left side. I had a traumatic brain injury, and in that time in the hospital, people from my past and present all reached out to me. And sending me gifts, visiting me at the hospital, encouraging messages, but the one person that I really wanted to hear from, I didn't. And I remember one night in the hospital, I called him, and he told me I should be the one calling you. Like, this is not, like, and hearing that, that hurt me. And I knew in that moment that if I never reached out to him again, I would probably never hear from him. And I was right. And that hurt. Like, we were talking about rejection last night, and rejection sucks. Like, it's not fun to be rejected and to not have somebody reciprocate the feelings back that you gave to them. But then God is so sweet. And in that moment of just feeling rejected, I then met my physical therapist, who's actually here today too.
Woo!
Wave your hand like you just don't care. That's my physical therapist. God used her in so many ways, not just obviously physically for my leg, but also spiritually speaking. She's been my mentor. But she helped me with a new perspective and really helped me heal my heart from this boy. And I think about this, it says, going back to the Roman scripture, it says, let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. And if you want to highlight or underline that, changing the way you think, I don't know exactly in the NIV what that says, but even just writing it down, changing the way you think. I was given practicals on how to change the way that I thought. So anytime I would think about reaching out to that boy, I would take that thought captive, I would lay it at the Lord's feet, and I would say a quick prayer over him, and I would be done with it. And that was very hard to do, but it allowed me to have a dialogue with the Lord, and it truly did strengthen my relationship. And I started seeing the Lord as my everything and being complete in him. And even as I was recovering and relearning how to stand and walk and type and write, as an outsider looking in, you would think I was miserable, but I was literally so complete in the Lord. Like, I lacked absolutely nothing, and that was the best time. And reading that last part of that Roman scripture, then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. And what's funny is shortly after that, I met my now fiance. And if it wasn't for the Lord's word and my physical therapist pointing me back to the Lord, I wouldn't have entered my relationship in a healthy place. Like, I 100% believe that.